gentlemen, would you please be seated?
Cell phones off, please. My dear friends, I'm Rabbi Eckstein. I'm joining with you and the family in the service of love and farewell for Jeff. A husband, a father, grandfather, brother, and a riding companion. I'm glad we don't have windows here. I don't want you to see the weather outside. Outside it's getting sunny. For us inside the chapel, the sun is not shining. It's raining, it's cold, it's dark, because we've come to bid shalom. At moments like this, we look for sources of strength, and we always turn first to the Bible for guidance and for consolation. The 23rd Psalm, the original Hebrew, Mizmor LeDavid, Psalm of David. Adonai ro'i lo echsar b'noteshi arbitzeni al mei menuchot yenahaleni. Nafshi yeshovev yancheni v'maglei tzedek leman shemo, gam ki yelech b'geit salmavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. The psalmist declares, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He guideth me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod, thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness, mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Amen. My dear friends, we've come together with heavy hearts, and we've come not simply to attend the funeral. To attend is a very passive word, as though you think you just came to sit around. We've come to actively participate in three ways. After we've done these three things, we're free to go. The first reason we've come, it's cold outside. But you know what? It's cold inside. We're very chilled in our heart, in our neshama, in our soul. And the first reason we've come is to huddle together, to give each other strength and warmth and support. Now, I'm a rabbi who officiates at everything. Births and bar mitzvahs and weddings. And Kayla, if you invite me for your wedding, it'll be free of charge. How's that? Okay, I'll give mommy my card. I should only be around. You'll have to pick me up because I won't be driving then. But you know what I've observed, and I've seen life in all its aspects. There's one thing I see at funerals. I'm going to make you aware of it. You probably never thought of it, but you'll say, you know, that's right. And I saw it again today. Are you aware that when you come to a funeral, more than any of these other functions and rites of passage, the instant you see one of the members of the family, everybody's running up and giving you a big hug. Am I right? Before they can even say, I'm so sorry, everybody's, you got more hugs today, Charlotte, maybe in the last 2 years. True? Who told you to do that? It's not in the Bible. Your parents didn't say when you come to a funeral, give them a hug. Our heart is telling us. Because with each embrace, we're sending you a message. And the message is, I know how weak you are. I know how alone you feel. I want you to know that you're not alone. And I want you to know that I'm here to support you. Everybody here, nobody likes to go to funerals. This is early in the morning. Had some snow. But they came to comfort you and to bring honor to his memory. And I want you to know, according to Jewish teaching, I realize many of you are not Jewish, but that's our teaching applies to everybody. Each one of you for coming here, how do I put it, has earned in your heavenly bank account. You all have a big credit. Jews will know what I mean. You say you have earned a big mitzvah. And for those who are not Jewish, any teachers here, former teachers, former students? Max, you're the youngest. Can you remember when you went to kindergarten? I don't know if they still do that. When we went to school, if you did something exemplary, we used to get a gold star. Do you remember a gold star? Bob, you didn't get any. You get a smiley?
I don't really remember that one.
You don't remember that. You were little then. Okay. You all have gold stars, or you all have a mitzvah. And God keeps a record of every mitzvah we do, and every naughty thing we do. And every mitzvah you collect cancels one of the bad things. That's why to be a Jew, somebody asked me, what's the definition of a Jew? To me, a Jew does mitzvahs. A good Jew does more mitzvah. That's my philosophy. It means a lot to you to see them here. Am I right? That's the first reason. The second reason we've come is to mourn and to grieve. May I give Jeff's age? Only 63. That's nothing today. Nothing. And there must be a mistake here, Charlotte, on my notes, because you said you were married 43 years, but you only look 43. How is that possible? You love me, right? And those 43 years flew by. You know why? Because you had a good companion. I put it this way. I didn't ask, was he in the military? Was he a veteran? No. I'm very proud to say, you know how many rabbis there are in the United States? There are only 177 like me. I was a U.S. Army chaplain on active duty for 2 years. And chaplains, by the way, if you're ever on a quiz show, in time of war, for any time, we are the only people who can never be drafted. Any military chaplain you see, or will see, or have seen, volunteered. We cannot be drafted. And I'm very proud I gave 2 years to the United States, captain. Why do I mention that? I'm trying to think if something triggered something. It'll come back to me. So you had, I know why. I go to once a year there's a meeting in Albany of former chaplains, and I go to it. Any of you ever driven from New York to Albany with no one in the car? If you speak French, it's a schlep. I can't wait to get off, the sign there on the and then a miracle happens. We go to the meeting. At the end of the meeting, somebody comes, they call me Eki. He said, Eki, would you give me a lift back to New York? I say, gladly. And guess what? You say miracles don't happen? It's a miracle. The trip from Albany to New York with somebody in the car is much shorter the trip from New York to Albany with no one in the car. And that's why you had good 43 years. And that's why it's going to be hard for you, because there's no one in the car now. But you're blessed with a wonderful family. So we've come to grieve and to tear the clothes. You'll see they have a ribbon. But the third reason is equally as important. We've come to hold each other for support, and we've come to mourn. But the third reason we've come is to remember him and to celebrate his life. You're not here because Jeff died. You're here because Jeff lived. And each one of you wouldn't be here unless you had a private memory. No, it's difficult. We could have many, but just one representative of the family is going to come up and speak. Okay? Grandchild and mom. Whoever wants to come. 2 people, 3, whatever it is. Where's she going? Oh.
So, this is all of my sister's writing, but I'm gonna read it for her. So, I'm pretty sure most of you know me, but for those who don't, I'm Kayla. My grandfather was an amazing man. I miss him so much. I don't want to believe he's gone, but he's in a better place now. He's no longer suffering. He always used to talk about how we were what? We were gonna go on a little cruise trip on his motorcycle, on a little road trip on his motorcycle for a few days. I was so excited to go, but now he's gone. When I get old enough, I can go on a road trip with Max on a motorcycle for him. I'll never forget our times upstate or in New Hampshire or ever just when he went on all those motorcycle rides. We joked together so much. I just really want him back to see me graduate from my elementary school and high school, to see Madison, Max, and I grow up. I promise to tell Madison all about him and the wonderful and happy person he was. May he rest in peace. There's this one time that I'll never forget. So one time when we were upstate, we were passing by a house, and I was wondering if we were gonna rent that house, but then he started talking about an old motorcycle that he had. It was small, and it had pedals and an engine. I'll never forget that because then we started talking and talking, and then he said a few things that were funny.
Of course, his career was in the real estate industry. He worked for the firms, first Marvin Gold, no relation, and then Arco Realty. And I thought he was a smart guy, but he got involved in the real estate associations. I think he became president, right, of one of them. Should have known better than that. A couple of them, Ram and others, and so he had a good name in the field. The other part of his life outside of you was his bike. He was a Harley driver. And I'm sure they're here. I know he was very active with New York City Hogs. I saw pictures of him. If there was another woman in his life, it was his Harley. I'm telling you, I know what I'm talking about. Okay. I didn't have a chance to get too many memories from his siblings, Bob and Sharon. Did he protect you when you were a little girl, Sharon? He was, because he protected you even later. You told me how he was there for you. And you, Bob, you have a child, tell me the truth. Did you fight when you were kids? Occasionally. Who won? Can't tell you right now. And you're thinking back of childhood memories. And to the children, to Jennifer, who's with Eric and Erica and Mike, your father was very proud of you and loved you. I see the love on his face in the photographs when he looks at you. And it's going to be hard. Mommy's going to need you. But you're blessed. He left behind a good name. When you're going to meet people, oh, Jeff was your father. You're going to hear, am I right? You'll hear just wonderful reports. And to the grandchildren, to Kayla, to Max, and Madison. Madison's not there. She's back there. Only 10 months. Oh, but he knew about the baby coming. Oh, that must have been a great delight. So our hearts go out to you. When a person dies, they leave a legacy. Now, if there are attorneys here at Legacy, they'll take out that yellow pad and they'll start write down, CDs, real estate, this. I'm talking about the things that really count in life. The things you really count in life, you can't count on a calculator. I'm going to end with the story because I think this is what he would like you to take with you in life. There's a story of a man who was dying at home. He'd been in the hospital. They said, there's nothing further we can do. Go home, make him comfortable. And the family was gathered around a day, another day. They're weeping. They know death is approaching. And then he opened his eyes. He said, I have a favor to ask. And one of the sons bent over. He said, yeah, Pa, what do you want? He said, go into the living room where the fireplace is. Yeah? On the floor near the fireplace, you'll see a bundle of twigs. Bring the bundle here. Said, Pa, what do you need that? But do it. She brought the bundle of twigs. And he looked to everybody in the room. He said, I know you all love me and I love you all, but a favor before I pass. I want to know whether you have muscles or not. Muscles. Pick up the bundle of twigs and break it. He's dying. They're crying. He's talking about muscles. They figured. So one of the daughters said, yeah, Pa, we all have muscles, No, he said, get agitated, the humor them. So they started to do it, the son, the daughter, they passed it to nephews. No one in the room could break the bundle of twigs. He said, bring it here to the bed and I'm going to do it. And one of the grandchildren said, Grandpa, you can't do that. You're too sick. You're too weak. You're too old. And he said, watch. Believe it or not, he was able to break the bundle of twigs no one in the room could break. He pulled the string. And it opened up. And he took each twig out one by one, and those he could snap. And they lay a heap on his bed, and he turned to them and said, he's saying to you, my dear mishpacha, my dear family, remember always, if you're tied together as a family, nothing can break you. It's only if you become separated, untied, the world will snap you one by one. I mentioned the members of the family. I have to mention David. Where's David? There you are. I don't know how to characterize you. I can't give you a right label. Another son, another brother, another nephew, but you're always there, and your love was supportive then, and it will be in the future, I know. Please rise with the memorial prayer. El Mole Rachamim Shochein Bam Romim Hamtzei Menucha Nachona Lenishmat Yaakov Ben Moshe Shohalach Liolamo B'Gan Eden Tei Menucha Tov V'Nomar Amen. The interment follows immediately. We're going all the way out, and when I say all the way out, it's just about the furthest cemetery for us in Woodbridge, New Jersey. Procession should allow at least an hour and a quarter drive, if you can come. If you can, when we leave, go to your cars, put your headlights on. They'll tell you where we're lining up in front of the chapel. Okay. And I'd like to end. I know not many of you are going to be going to the cemetery. The name is right here. It will mean nothing to you. Woodbridge Memorial Gardens. I know it is Beth Israel. It's the same place. Woodbridge 19 South. My mother used to say when she'd go to a funeral service and schlep me along as a kid, she'd turn to the people and say, Sophie, why do I only see you at funerals? Where are you the rest of the time? Am I right? Something. So she'd always say, I hope the next time I see you, may it be that simchas, may it be at a happy occasion when you come together. Please remain standing.
Thank you, Rabbi. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the services in the chapel. If anybody wishes to attend the cemetery service today, we'll be proceeding directly to Woodbridge Memorial Gardens. That's in Woodbridge, New Jersey. If you have not done so and you want to say goodbye to the family, if you're not going, you should do that. And you can all use the exit to the front of the chapel to my left. If anybody had a coat in the family room, the coat would be on the racks to my left. Thank you.